announcements today, so try and keep it short. But so today or tomorrow, Model UN, come to a meeting because we're going to be talking about how to model UN.
Yeah.
Yes.
And tomorrow we're just going to have a really quick student council in Mr. Murray's room.
And then also track meet today. Go boys and girls. Cross country. Yeah.
Okay, so there is a new poll up suggested by a student. It has to do with stress and mental health. So I hope that you will throw your opinions in on that. The results from the last poll, the participation was kind of low to start. I know. But it was about making anonymous posts. So I thought you'd still want to know. 37% of you have made a couple of anonymous posts. 25% of you have never made an anonymous post. Yay. Many anonymous posts, 16, and I'd rather drink cat pee, 12%. Have you ever regretted a post that you have made, whether anonymous or not? No, says 40%. Heck no, says 36%. Kind of, says 24%. Oh yeah, says 0%. Good. Then, the last snack chat of the quarter is today in my office. I have had multiple requests for us just to, whoever's interested, to get together and talk about the volume in the library, how much is acceptable, what should we do. So we need your input. There are several, especially seniors, who are getting extremely stressed out by the amount of noise that's in there when they're trying to talk. So thanks. I hope to see you in my office at 11:30. Oh, wait! I'm so sorry. Sorry, Ms. Brown. I also said that I would remind students to be sure we're going to have lots of visitors on campus today. Last year at this time, when we had this same number of visitors on campus, we had some thefts, including a laptop. So please do be careful to lock up your belongings in your lockers, take your electronics, and keep them safe. That's one of the things that we have to just be aware of when we're off this campus, okay? Or other people are coming on. Thanks. Not that other people are back.
Okay. I got a call this week from somebody who works with older people at the Carmel Foundation. She does a program called Wired Through Connections Mentor Up. It's where you go and you help older people learn how to use the internet and things like that. If you're interested in more information, see Logan Allen. If you're interested in the Grief Busters, the training isn't coming up until November 22nd and 23rd and December 9th, but the deadline to interview for an appointment is October 15th. This is still posted by room 9, but if you're interested, go and take care of that now and contact them. Then I'd like to just highlight a couple of students who got some incredible comments back from their supervisors. You know, I ask you to do these forms where you get a signature from your supervisor. Part of that is to help me know that you've actually done the hours, and part of it is to give your supervisor an opportunity to say how wonderful you are. So please do these. I've signed them for people who volunteered at organizations I'm involved with, and it feels really good as a supervisor for somebody to come up and say, I know I volunteered for you, and my school's requiring that I do this, and you take it and you go, oh, I would love to sign that for you. Listen, this is what I'm going to write about you. It's going to say something like, here we go. Allison Hurley had a great attitude and work ethic with our students. It has been great to work with her. Smiley face. Please add me to your as a reference if needed. Okay, she tutored students at a middle school through a program called Youth Now. Diana Hinojos. She worked at a library, and one of the paragraphs said, Ms. Hinojos brought to our agency a strong set of skills and provided us critical technical support. We especially valued her knowledge of Photoshop, Excel, PowerPoint, Word, and Google Drive cloud storage. Her punctuality and excellent communication skills enabled us to swiftly design a plan for her role in our summer program. With a conscientious attention to detail, Ms. Hinojos performed essential tasks, including but not limited to creating participants' name tags, an 8-week attendance roster, worksheets for a myriad of activities, and leading learning stations such as field hockey, it's a library, right? As well as supervising children during field trips. So please ask your supervisors to go and sign your little sheet for you, all right? Take them with you if you volunteer during fall break. They're available on Haiku and in the front office. Thanks.
3 short announcements to begin with. This morning, we had a couple of unexpected visitors and larger animals on campus, and I just want to compliment 3 students, Maddie and Connor and Michael, for doing exactly the right thing. You found an adult, you got on the phone with Animal Services. Just a reminder that if neighborhood dogs or any other animals come over from the outdoor lab, for example, it's not a time to say something like, hey, would you like a massage, or do you want to have an existential conversation about something related to class or life? It's a time to walk away and find an adult and make sure that we have an opportunity to intercept with the animals, right? So thanks for doing that. Secondly, tomorrow is a late start day, so enjoy sleeping in the morning. We'll be in the library. There are the student center and classrooms will be open should you want to be on campus as early as 7:30, and otherwise we'll see you at 9:30 for first period class. And as you know, the break starts on Thursday. We just wanted to make sure that people at home and students are aware of some of the activities coming up following break, so there'll be posts on the York blog about Fall Fair and Grandparents and Special Friends Day. But we also want to make sure that students know that October 15th, that's the Wednesday that we're back, sophomores and juniors are taking the PSAT in the gym, and 9th graders will be taking the College Work and Readiness Assessment, the CWRA. And so that takes up the majority of the morning for most students, and we just want you to plan accordingly. Thanks.
Take freshman year, for example. I always struggled in math, especially what I was learning last year, algebra. I mean, the first few months were great. I would get A's on all of my tests and turn in all of my homework on time. But as the school year went on, my test grades started to drop, from A's to B's and at one point to C's. How could this happen? I began to study every night for hours until my brain could no longer process what looked like random letters and numbers everywhere. Taking these tests was a living nightmare. As I looked down at my math-filled paper, my heart would beat rapidly. I would panic, knowing I was going to bomb this exam. When tests were returned, all I would see were stupid mistakes everywhere. It turns out I knew all of these answers, but I would just freak out. Finals were coming up, and I was terrified. My mom was getting really concerned with me and made me study extra hard.
So I studied a week before finals for hours.
My teacher gave me a practice test that would help for the final. So I made a ton of copies of this and answered these problems until I didn't struggle. The day of the final was kind of a blur. I remember the practice test was very similar to the final, so I didn't panic as much. I remained calm and looked over all the answers that I had twice, making sure I didn't make any careless mistakes. 2.5 hours later, my mom picked me up. She asked me on her way home, "So, how was the test?" I don't know. A few weeks later, report cards came out. My parents looked at it before I had the chance to look. They got to the math section, and their faces looked as if they had seen a ghost. My parents looked up at me and smiled. My mom said, "Math final, 96%. Not only was I ecstatic about the grade I received, but the feeling of accomplishment I felt from hours of studying that got me this grade. Like right now, I'm terrified of public speaking. My legs are shaking and I swear I'm about to cry. I want to run outside and just bawl my eyes out. But I'm standing here right now because I know that when I'm finished, I will have a feeling of accomplishment and self-respect that I wouldn't get by doing anything else.
Today, JV starts at 4, varsity starts at 5:30.
Yeah, so please come support our level team.
Also, JV, we're taking pictures at 3:15, so please be dressed out by then.
All right, come support us. Thank you.
Nice and simple.
Okay, hi, if you don't already know me, I'm CJ. I'm part of Marine Life Studies, an organization that researches, educates, and conserves the ocean. Now, we're designing an installation at the Museum of Monterey, and I need help creating an interactive art exhibit about kelp forests. We need an extra set of hands for creating the kelp for this exhibit, so if you're artistic or you just want to help, come, you'll get hours for it. We're meeting this Sunday at First Night Monterey Studio, and I've got tons of flyers, so if you're interested, you can find me after break. All I need is your name and contact number. Thanks.
Rally day is today at lunch in the gym, 11:35, and I just want to remind you, those of you who have a cross-country meet or volleyball game, not to hurt yourselves during this game. We're fighting some sleep.
Okay, so JSA members, Fall State is someone we're trying to get finished up registration with by tomorrow, which means if you have permission slips, get them into me by tomorrow. And if you have checks,
give them to me. Meet out to York School for $100 by tomorrow.
and if you do not have a permission slip, I have extras and Ben has extras. Please, we need those by tomorrow.
If you're a member of Key Club, please try to find me today or tomorrow to sign up for a fall fair shift, and also field hockey ladies. Be in the vans at 2:15.
10 seconds.
Today there is a quick trash and club meeting at the beginning of lunch in room 6. Thanks.
8th graders are cleaning out the lost and found tomorrow, so if you might want to just double check it to see if you're missing anything.
Don't do it. York girls tennis will continue our winning streak today with our game with Carmel. Please be at the bands at 2:15. No.
There's a robotics meeting tomorrow at lunch in the physics room. And we're doing stuff with fall fair, so
Be there. Okay, now here we go.
A lot of people have been asking me about the pun book, so I decided to share a couple puns from it. Keep in mind that this is from 1960. Mr. and Mrs. Wong lived happily in Manila until a sailor came into their lives. Mrs. Wong gave birth to a baby that did not look oriental at all. Mr. Wong took his wife to the local sage, told his story, and asked for his judgment. The sage said, "I'm sorry, but 2 Wongs don't make a white." An unscrupulous lawyer stayed up with a pretty widow all night trying to break her will. One more?
Was that one?
That was fun. Trying to break her will. 1960s, you guys. Okay. Am I done? One more? Okay. Mama Broom told Papa Broom, "We're going to have a little whisk broom." Papa replied, "How is that possible? We haven't even swept together."
Guilds today at lunchroom 3, also Japan trip. We'll be leaving Thursday morning at 7 o'clock at the International Terminal at SFO. And from Sensei, and I quote, "We will leave without you."
Thank you.